I don't know how many of you got the memo, but for this month, our end or our peak pose is the Kandarasana, your bridge pose for the beginners and the the beginner classes. For the advanced and intermediate, I think we're doing the inversion, the shoulder stand. So that is what we're practicing through the month of May in all of our different classes. So in the Hatha beginners class, you'll be prepping parts of your body for the bridge pose. And in your advance, you'll be prepping your body for Sarvang. Now you don't have to get the pose down pat in the month. We're looking just, to build the body up towards a goal. So from the Yin perspective, I'm going to look at each of these parts of the body for us also. So we're looking at shoulders because that's where, you take the most of the support happens on the shoulders in your shoulder stand or in your bridge. But in your bridge, it's the legs that work you up. And in your Sarvangasana, it's the core that keeps you up. So we will also be looking at that. Right? In your Sarvangasana, again, you're looking at a nice long straight back. But in the bridge, you're looking at a back bend. So we'll be looking at opening the front body and opening the back body. So these are parts of the physical postures that I'm going to be giving you. The Yin angle too. So flexibility, strengthening of the bones there, stretching of the body, strengthen the feet. Those are the things that I will offer from the Yin tradition. But from the philosophy, we will look at the fire element. It's all upper body. It's, it's the fire element and it's the emotion of joy. Okay, so it's the emotion of joy. Yeah.
I think we need a little bit of joy right now in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to be like the most joyful person, like genuinely like happy. I still am, right? But I'm very serious also. I only realized that after my son said to me, he said, "Why so serious?" Just like the Joker does in the, in the movies, in the Batman movies. But I suddenly realized that, yeah, life has become so serious.
Yes.
Where is that joy? So it's as much my sadhana as I'm hoping you will, take it on as yours. So we can compare notes. We buddy with each other, huh? So here we go, guys. Make yourselves really comfortable. Today is shoulder day. Welcome to all the new folks here. Leave me a chat message if there's something you're paying attention to in the body that you need help with. We are working shoulders, so be gentle with yourself. Keep lots of cushions handy. I know there was a lot of chatting and a lot of learning from each other this morning already. See how that sits inside of you. See where all of that learning sat or sits inside of you. Ahas that might have come up, notes to self. And just think about the whole month of May ahead of you. We're almost halfway through this year. We can do it. I know sometimes with the way things are, it can be daunting. It can be unsettling to even think too many days ahead. So what if we just decided that every minute, because you know where you want to be, you know where you want to head, you know how you want life to pan out, don't you? So if every minute we can catch ourselves vibrating at a higher frequency, That's all we need to do this month. Just catch yourself vibrating at a higher frequency. So anywhere above from, say, acceptance and above. Acceptance, courage, love, joy, peace. So set your intention, set your sankalpa for the month of May. And all through the month of May, we work with the fire element in our Yin Yoga practice, where these energy meridians run down the arm. So we do the heart, the pericardium, that runs down the heart, small intestine that runs down the hand. And up the hand, up the shoulders. And we've got another meridian called the triple burner. So there are 4 meridians that we're working on this month, all to help you with something really, really important, which is the protective sheath around the heart. To be able to protect your heart from the onslaught of different emotions of fear, frustration, resentment, unforgiveness, anger, worry, guilt, shame. So that you can show up for yourself and for the rest of the world in your purest self. So breathe into the heart, breathe into the heart and exhale nice and long. Work on making the inhale softer, smoother, slower. And the exhale nice and long and slow. Soften the face, bring a smile to your face. Just a slight change in the muscles of your jaw, create a change in the mind and the physiology. Roll your shoulders back. Open up the chest a little bit more. Draw your shoulders away from the ears. Keep the chin neutral. And remember this feeling. Remember how you feel when you move parts of the body to places that you otherwise would not have explored. This month, as you practice the bridge pose or you work towards the shoulder stand, pay attention to those minutest pieces of your body that would need to be called into play in order to keep you safe and strong in your pose. Even though you'll find that the weight is concentrated at the shoulder, the strength is actually in the core and in the legs. So relax. This morning's class is all about releasing the heaviness from our shoulders, lifting the veil that keeps us feeling maybe sad, joyless. There could be mania, sometimes we could be ecstatically joyful, extremes. That's out of balance too, isn't it? So I'll give you lots of options for seated upper body shoulder work. Pick whichever works for your body today. We're either going to be compressing the front of the chest. So we're squeezing the heart meridian and the pericardium meridian that begins in the armpit. And we'll be opening the back, which is your small intestine and your third, the three burners. Or we'll be opening this space. Regardless of which pose you choose, you're working these 4 energy meridians. Go with how your body physically wants to feel today. The first choice is eagle arms. So you're opening the back of the body and you're squeezing the front. Hooking the right hand into the left elbow, bringing your palms together. So this is eagle arms. If this is not available to you today, if your shoulders are feeling too tight, stretch your right arm across the body and open the back of the shoulders. So you're squeezing the heart meridian on the front and open the back of the body. Is my visual all right or is it freezing? All okay now, Ashita? Savita, sign in and sign out, please, sweetie. Just see if it can come
I've
back.
done it, Anna. Actually, I'm losing it so often. The screen is going off, then it's, connecting me back. Some problem, I guess. No problem. I didn't want to interrupt the class. That's the thing.
Okay, sweetie.
Yeah.
Just breathe into where you feel the sensation. So pay attention. Remember, today is all about paying attention so that you can prepare for your peak poses for the month. So notice where there might be tightness in the shoulder. It could be structural. It could be bone on bone. It could be tissue that's tight. If there's tingling or numbness, please adjust the body. You don't want to be deadening any tissue. How does this have anything to do with joy? I'm going to leave that for you to discover across the month. Energetically, we're releasing stuck states. That's part of the riddle. We tend to carry a lot of our burdens in the middle of our back, in the tissues of the shoulders, in the base of the neck, in the jaw, in the solar plexus. So work just now with just the long exhales. Remember to take the shoulders away from the ears. Just a few seconds more. In Yin Yoga, we stay for a while. We stay for a minute and a half and then some. Because we're getting into deeper tissue. We want to get into energy channels that rest in the very, very sticky fascia and in the joint. Release the pose and rest. Okay, rest between sides. So today we're looking at the physical aspect, but that does not discount any emotional experience you might have today on the mat. So the fire element stores the emotion of joy. And when joy is present, the only reason why we appreciate it is because we've also known its opposite. Take a deep breath in and let it out. And now for the other side. So the trick here in yin is you want to find, a juicy spot in the shoulder. So it might need you to maybe lift the elbows, bring the hands down, drop the shoulders down, breathe into the back of the body, and then soften. That's the trick, soften. I love what you're doing, couple. So this is again, so couple, if I can share, he's resting his head. So this is so important because he's taking any kind of habit holding in the neck away from the pose, which is so good. And he's just focusing on the tissue of interest. Breathe into the back of the body. So some of you were here last month where we explored the spirit of the heart, the spirit of the lungs. Spirit of the heart is called the Shen. It's the heart mind. This is the spirit mind that interprets your experiences, interprets your life. It makes sense of what you see, what you hear, what you taste, and translates that into an emotion. Just 30 seconds more. If there's a tightness, it could be structural, as I said. It could also be emotional. There's absolutely no need to analyze or get too anal about it. Just be with it and surrender to the pose. Stay with your breath and come out of the pose and relax. We're going to open the armpit now. So again, choices. So it's almost as if you're patting your back. Yeah, so your palm is resting on the small of your back, on the back of your middle of your shoulder blades. And you can either draw your hand closer and open it more with the other hand, or you can wrap the lower hand down. So you're holding onto your fingers from the back. Yeah. Now here again, you want to find that juicy spot and you want to open the chest. You can use your strap, you can hold on to your t-shirt. The interest, the target area is the armpit and the chest. So again, you can rest your head against your hand. Long exhales. It's also great. These are great poses to do, especially in times like this, to build your immunity. Also working your small intestines, which is so important to be able to take what nutrients we need from our food and be able to discern waste from nutrient. Slowly relax. Notice what happens in the body when you let go. Notice one side over the other. So again, in order for this whole balance to come about, we're looking at the yin side and the yang side. The yin side is your left side of the body. It's the darker, cooler side. The right side is the yang side. So again, pay attention to which sides may be tighter, which side feels more stuck. It could be representative of what's going on in your life and in your mind. Other hand now. So breathe, breathe into the discomfort. As long as, as you know, as long as it's not tingling or numbness or pain, just breathe into discomfort. Sit with the discomfort. You don't have to stay as long as us. If your body really needs you to come out, come out. If you feel your pressure rising because your hands are above your head, bring them down gently. And relax. Now we bring the shoulder blades together. So you're squeezing the back of the body, the middle of the shoulder blades, wrapping your palms, hands behind your back, interlocking your palms. So this is what it would look like. So again, you're opening up the front of the chest, you're squeezing the back, open up the heart. Notice what happens with your breathing now. And if the breath is, tight, if it's staggered, you want to adjust the pose so that the breath is in fact smoother. In this pose, notice what the solar plexus feels like, the place just below the ribs. Remember, if you have a hernia, avoid overstretching the front of the body. and relax. So amazing, right? I mean, how a couple of things like this can really activate so much, so much. So now we'll bring a little twist into the spine, right? So you're fixing your hips and you're moving the upper body. So inhaling, reaching up, lengthen the spine really long, ground down with the sit bones. And on the exhale, draw your navel in so that your back is protected. Right hand to the left knee, left hand behind the tailbone. Lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale and twist again. So as you look over the shoulder, down the side of the neck into the face is your small intestine meridian. So you're opening up that space. Go with your range of motion. Just feel it in the back of the neck, feel it in the back of the shoulder. Down the hand, down the outside of the hand into the little finger. That's your small intestine meridian. With every exhale, see if you can go slightly deeper, because with every exhale, the navel draws in. It makes a little more space in the body for a twist, but only go as deep as is comfortable for your spine and for your abdomen. This pose is not just great for the element of fire, but you're also working the organs of the digestive system, squeezing the liver, the stomach, the pancreas, bringing about balance in the entire system. Slowly bring your neck out first, and then unfold the body. Yeah. Very nice, guys. Lengthen the spine again. And now to the other side. Again, remember, pay close attention to the joint, to the shoulder blades, the side of the body, to the neck, and more than anything, to the breath. And come out of your twist. Great going, guys. A little bit more upper body work, then we'll also work the lower. So walk your right hand out and lengthen the neck in the opposite direction. So move your head to the left. Remember, this is where your intestine meridian runs. You might want to come up on your fingertips and very gently stretch the neck. Remember that smile, okay? You might want to find that exact sweet spot in how you put your neck and where you put your neck. So you open up that part of the back of the neck where you feel tightness. So I might want to look down, I might want to look up. And slowly coming back to the center. Change sides. In Yin, you want to move incrementally. You want to move to a place where you feel safe in the body and that you're actually doing your body good. Remember, no forward folding of the cervical neck if you have cervical neck issues. Otherwise, a nice stretch is good for like a spondylitis. And coming back to the center gently. Again, we're going to use slight weight with the fingers to give yourself a complete forward fold. If you don't want to use your hands, just allow the neck to hang completely down, completely free, not in the half zone that we typically find ourselves in. Right? So if you want to use your hand, very gently If you have a cervical neck issue, we'll do a side to side instead. and relax. An acupoint, please don't use acupoints if you're expecting. Okay, but otherwise, acupoints are really great to release, again, blockages in the channels that we are focused on. So I'm adding a little bit of the gallbladder. It doesn't matter what I'm like, unless you really like the science of it. But what I want us to do is use our fingers softly at the nape of our neck. So, in line with the ear. So you're right at the nape of your neck. This part here and here. Yeah. And drag your hands down to the side of the shoulders. Drag down, press to the side of your shoulders. Yeah. So you want to run on the top of your shoulders. You're bringing down the tightness, the fluid, the lymph, any tension, wherever you want to rub it out of the shoulders. Yeah. So you've got your hands there. Press deep. Move down. You might even want to rub and draw. So there are a lot of lovely points here. Down. What I did also was I took my hand here and brought it forward and out. So down. Up and down. Really get into that. Ashita, you okay? So when you work the large and the small intestines, especially when you do upper body work, there's a lot of release that happens to issues of the head. You might think it's just the intestinal system, but there's a lot of issues in the head that it sorts out. Headaches, migraines, vertigos, all of those imbalances, the foggy thinking, all of that, that heaviness in the head. So your gallbladder is also part of the upper system. And these are two very important points you want to press at the base of the neck. Yeah.
Can you show it again, the back view?
Sure. So it's in line with the ear. So, just at the nape of the neck. So what I did was I used my fingers this way and just brought it down, like just flushed stuff down. And then I came to the top of my shoulders, out. Yeah, because right here is another gallbladder point. Then I got into my small intestine, which is here, and brought it up, and then down. Yeah. Just like get into there, bring it forward, wash it out. You can even want to wash it out because you know that these are all where the meridians run. So you can give yourself a nice home. You can be your own urban clap. Or house joy. I don't know which one's doing the home spa. Down and do it with mindfulness, do it with your breath, because what you're doing is you're not just giving your body a massage, you're actually moving out toxins, stuck energy, a lot of stress and tension that you might be carrying in the habit body. There and then down. Rub. So another way we get into the meridians is by, being able to, you can even energetically get into the meridians this way. Today, I just feel like giving us a nice rub down. All good? We're now moving into the wrists. Okay, not that in say in your sarvangasana and in your bridge pose, which we're working towards, of course. You might not be using your wrists too much, except to maybe the forearms to kind of prop yourself up. But remember, the strength is all in the core anyway. But for this, because we're looking at the heart, the shoulders, the whole element, I want to work with your wrists. So great for carpal tunnel. If you've been working from home on your computers too long, yeah, or at the office at the computer too long, you want to be able to bring your palms to face you And stretch the front of the hands. Yeah. And if you're sitting on your toes and your toes are tucked in, you're getting a bonus of the kidney grounding position. Yeah. Yeah. So be very, very gentle, okay? Because you're working the front of the wrist. If you feel better having your hands further out to the side, go ahead. If you feel better having the hands at a slight angle, go ahead. And breathe, okay? Breathe into the pain. I mean, not pain, to the discomfort. There should not be pain. Press your fingers down onto the mat gently. Pay attention to the wrist, especially because you've got the heart meridian that runs right through there, the pericardium that runs right through there, the lung on the side of the thumb. It's 30 seconds more. And slowly come up, very gently. We're not done yet. Now we'll work the back of the hand. So remember that there are meridians that run up the back of the hand too. So this time you're turning your hands on its back. Fingers still pointing toward you. And you can come up as far as your knuckles if you like. Yeah. Just apply a little weight onto the front of the hands. Yeah. And slowly come out, very gently, micro movements, and relax. Good job, guys. So choice again, just to work the lower body so that whatever energy you've released in the upper body can also be grounded and, drawn down, and the other way around. We'll do either the reclining child's pose or the child's pose in its typical sense. So you want wide knees, so you get nice and open in the hips. And in order to keep the heart, active in the pose, reach out. If you'd rather do, this pose on your back and open up the chest, do a reclining butterfly. So you're reclining. See which one works better for you. We're spending 5 minutes in this pose, so pick the one that really gets into both the hips and the heart. Prop yourself up as much as you need with cushions and now move into a gentle shavasana. You might want to prop yourself up on cushions to take your shavasana, or you might want to rest on your side and take your shavasana, whatever you prefer. Rest the hips, rest the back, rest the shoulder. Just lie completely flat in shavasana. Maybe you want to run your hands back up your neck, lengthen the neck, stretch the skin on the back of your head, and put your head back down. Stretch your feet away from you. Just lengthen the whole body from all of that squeezing and sitting. Just stretch your feet away from you. Then flex your feet toward you as if you're pushing up against the wall. One more time, away from you. Stretch the back of the legs and the back of the body. Bring the feet towards you. Press against the wall, the imaginary wall, and relax. Taking a slightly long shavasana today. Just want us to contemplate on this reading that I'm going to do. It's a poem again by Dana Falls, and it's called Self-Observation Without Judgment. Release the harsh and pointed inner voice. It's just a throwback to the past and holds no truth about this moment. Let go of self-judgment, the old learned ways of beating yourself up for each imagined inadequacy. Allow the dialogue within the mind to go friendlier and quiet. Shift out of inner criticism and life suddenly looks very different. I can say this only because I make the choice 100 times a day to release the voice that refuses to acknowledge the real me. What's needed here isn't more prodding towards perfection, but intimacy. Seeing clearly and embracing what I see. Love, not judgment, sows the seeds of tranquility and change. Love, not judgment. Let go of self-judgment, the old learned ways of beating yourself up for each imagined inadequacy. Make the choice 100 times a day to release the voice that refuses to acknowledge the real you. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes as you come back to the room you're in. Slowly make your way back up. Take your time. Roll to the side. Stay there for a while. Contemplate your practice. And even when we work with a peak pose, I implore you to not get attached to the outcome. It's great to have a goal, a place that we're headed towards, something that we're working toward. But yoga is about not being attached to the outcome. Bring yourself up to sitting. And if at all you feel anxiety, if you feel any kind of overwhelming stress, the acupoint you want to get to is just here. Right? So it's in the crease of the wrist that we worked on. It's in the line of the little finger, just here. So this is your heart 7 point, in line with the little finger at the crease of the wrist. So press onto that for a couple of seconds, like 30 seconds to a minute, if you're overwhelmed with stress. Mainly on the left hand, but it's also on the right. If you feel that the stress is going to knock you out cold, if you're feeling that much of overwhelm, because I know times are really, really tough for a lot of us, This is your point, okay? It's on the little finger. Just squeeze the end of the nail of the little finger. This, I don't know if you can see it well enough. Let's just to get the whole thing, just massage the little finger front and back either way. So this is for like, literally if you feel like, you know, it's like your heart is uncontrollable. So these are your 2 heart points.
Thank you, Anna.
Thank you, Savita.